absolute privilege to bring to the stage at this time, we have Josh Petersdorf and Roger Craig Smith. Are you doing your wrestling entrance?
I forgot we weren't doing wrestling. I just walked in like Scott Hall and it's like, this is loser. Ooh, yeah.
I'm gonna take you down, Josh.
Is this, we're just how to cut a wrestling promo?
Danger zone, 7 years, Hulk Hogan.
I feel like you're like Stone Cold Steve Austin, like,
My filtered water. Yeah. I only drink alkaline, 9.5 pH. Smart water.
Oh my gosh.
all right, does anybody know what we're doing? Okay, good.
Like a handful.
Like-
Enough.
Yes,
Yeah.
my horrible impressions of Stone Cold Steve Austin.
I thought they
That's
were
how we
great.
started the morning. Let's keep it moving.
Good
You know what
morning,
I
good
mean?
morning.
Good morning.
How's the weekend been so far for you guys?
Columbus, I've had an amazing time here. Thank you guys so much for your hospitality so far. Really appreciate you. Someone tried to throw me in the river last night. It was great.
Little warm.
Yeah, a little warm. We
Yeah.
had, football town, right? You guys root for football out here, apparently. So it's been fun. We went out and checked out some of the bars. And I felt very old.
Yeah.
The Bengals, right? It's the Bengals.
The Bengals.
The Bengals of Cincinnati. C-Bus. I know that now. I've learned that you guys refer to yourselves as C-Bus,
Oh,
right?
good.
Yeah.
We're learning
C-Bus.
things.
I know, exactly.
C-Bus. I didn't know that.
I'm like a local. I'm just like, I tried to throw a guy in the river last night, and that's what you do when you're in C-Bus.
I love it.
When in C-Bus, throw a stranger in the river.
Of course.
Came to my room, too. It
Yes,
was a
sorry,
very-
I know. That's like, you
thought
should
it was
really
something
watch your
else.
wallet better.
Check.
Yeah, sorry.
Okay,
So
my
there.
wallet's here.
What a cool magic trick if all of a sudden I was like, and here it is! All of a sudden you're like, you gotta be kidding me. And your wristwatch.
I love it. Roger, I wanted to kind of ask
Then my wife walks up.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
Oh, the grand prize. All right.
No, that's a different magic trick altogether.
I love this. Roger, I wanted to ask because I thought it was so brilliant, your promotion for coming to the convention this weekend.
Oh, yes.
Can you tell us a little bit about
Well, apparently, like, folks that saw it, too, thought that it was like, that I was literally trying to dub something, and they're like, that's a horrible dub. That's like, he's a voice actor, he should know better. And it was just a joke. I did this silly thing where I basically said, like, oh, hey, this is a really personal, special message for all those folks and then I just overdubbed my voice in a very, like, it was like, what's up, everybody? I'm gonna be in Columbus, Ohio. It's like, and it was like, and then clearly my mouth is saying something different than it's like, GalaxyCon. And, and people were like, that was the worst dub ever. He's like, does he not know better than, it was a joke. It was a joke, literally, it was, did you not, yeah. Anyway, so that was my very deeply personal, and now I think I'm just going to keep doing that for every single convention going forward.
Can
Yes.
you please?
It's like here in C-Bus, we started a new tradition. So yeah,
Right here.
because I just want to see how many people go like, that is so insensitive and unkind, and I'm like, it's a joke.
Don't really care.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Plus, it's a much easier way for me to promote things. I'll just take the same video and keep like Las Vegas.
Forever and ever and ever.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Pacoima, California.
I'm lucky. I always work at the theme park, so I always have free scenery. I'm like, oh, you want a video? Let me stand next to Optimus Prime.
I love it. Even better.
All right.
Can we briefly mention, Josh, a few days ago, had his very glorious beard, and now Josh is beardless because, can you tell us why?
Well, it's called time travel. We're studying it right now. This is actually me from 2014, and I sent myself back in time because I was horribly depressed. I wanted to remind myself that things get better in the future. But I actually have a really cool job. I'm Optimus Prime and Megatron at Universal Studios Hollywood. So you've seen a lot of those TikTok roast videos. A lot of those are me. And currently, why I shave the beard is because I'm doing the Grinch at Universal Studios. So I'm in full prosthetics. It's super involved. It's like an hour and a half in the chair. But it's really, really rewarding to see. I got my first letter from a little girl. To Max and the Grinch. And, and I tell this story. It's really fun. We took a bunch of pictures, and her brother was like, hello, Mr. Grinch. His sister was like, hello, Mr. Grinch. Big blue eyes. Like, we're talking to his sister. Yeah. And when they left, they bought a bunch of pictures. And that's why we do it, because I'm like, I'm going to be on their mantle forever. Yeah. Me and little Cindy Lou Who are going to be for 20 years holding it down. So.
That's amazing. I think that's so cool. And you are way nicer than the Grinch, Josh, so.
It is 8 a.m. West Coast time for me right now, so my niceness is waking up in about 30 minutes.
Yeah.
So.
We'll get there by the end of the panel.
Got to be exhausting to do that too. I mean, like, I'm sure you just like by the end of the day you're riding on pure adrenaline and seeing like little kids react and that kind of thing is all that makeup and that energy that you got to put into to sort of convey that character. Like
It's,
that's insane.
you know, and it's 100% true, Roger. And we also say, look, I can never be Jim Carrey, okay, but I can be the Grinch. And that's kind of how we approach it. We totally emulate Jim and try and copy everything that he does, obviously. But, you know, in the end, the Grinch is a character, and it's ultimately rewarding. You sweat like a pig in that suit. There's a huge, and I have respect for Santa now after wearing this. Oh my God, poor old Santa. You know, bring him some Axe body spray at the mall. An ice cube.
And you're West Coast, or you're like Universal Studios LA?
Universal Studios Hollywood.
So this
entertainment
is, again,
capital of LA.
We're learning so much. When I was like 20 years old, and I was working at Knott's Berry Farm, and for their Dino Days, you know, promotion, they had like dinosaur themed stuff, and it was a prosthetic like character design whole outfit, and I was in like this giant dinosaur costume, but it was 115 degrees inside the costume. It was like, it's Southern California, it's August. And it was the same. We had two handlers that would like walk with me as like a paleontologist and a caveman, but they were there to make sure the kids would
The caveman.
stop. Yes, the caveman, like John, my buddy John.
Good old Knots. Like, let's have a caveman.
Yeah, exactly. It was like, no, because you know that won't frighten children.
Bring the Neanderthal to yell at the children.
Dinosaur too. It's just like. No, it was and it was amazing because I wore like literally kidney ice packs and stuff, and it was like,
it's
and
no
yet
joke.
we loved it. Like it was just like, and it was 20 minutes on and 40 minutes off, but we would stay out for 40 minutes and take a 15-minute break and come back out, and it was like just getting to do that stuff because you know, end of the day, you know, you're 20 years old and you're exhausted, but the memories that you would make of just like watching kids like run up or
it's important.
My favorite part. Have you ever had to do this? So little kids kind of look like little punks. They get to like a certain age where like the magic is gone.
Punkers.
Little punkers. And this kid.
Little punkers.
And so the costume was designed where it was like I put on these giant big leggings and like dinosaur feet and dinosaur legs, and they would lower this whole thing down on top of me, and my head was in the basket of eggs. And yet, so I had this mesh, so my head's in this basket of eggs on the back of this dinosaur, and we'd walk around and do, you know, all this stuff like all day long kind of thing. And every now and then you get like a little kid who's like, you know, the sister's enjoying the act, but the little boy just sits there and goes like, on your foot, just to see if the dinosaur's gonna react, and you're like, ow, ow. And then the best part is you just lean down every now and go,
Stop stepping on my foot.
and all of a sudden, and the eyes of like a kid who's like trying to figure out where the voice. Have you ever had to like discipline, like from a Grinch perspective?
From a Grinch perspective, yeah.
Or as Optimus, even scarier.
Optimus, I think Megatron's the easiest to reprimand people on. Optimus, it's like when you get in trouble by Optimus, it's like your grandfather's mad at you.
Yes.
You know what I mean? It's like very serious. Like when
Yeah.
grandpa's mad at you, you're like, I must have done something really wrong. He's like, let me tell you something. When you yelled at your mother and I saw you slap your brother, I was disappointed in you, Autobots. But it's really important to tell kids that they're brave. It's important to tell kids that they're powerful, to build them up, and then to break them down.
Yes.
And so,
Stop stepping on my foot and stay in school.
the Grinch in particular, we play him after his heart has grown 3 sizes too big. So he's not a total jerk, but he's still sassy.
Yeah.
It's more like, hey, what's your name? Don't care, it's Christmas. You know, kind of deal, motif. So if you would like to come, we'd love to have you.
Oh, that'd be amazing.
Yeah, tickets on me, no problem.
I'll troll.
Please.
I'll troll. I'll wear a dinosaur outfit.
You'll go downstairs and you'll see the
keep
Jurassic
stepping on
Park.
your foot.
I know what you guys are doing. I'm drinking a cup Miller Lite. Like, we get people all the time who see Optimus Prime, and there's a bunch of kids happy, and this guy walking around, oh, you know, it's a guy on stilts, right?
Oh my God.
You know, your wife left you? Right.
Yeah.
I feel like you subtly slid into John Taffer there for a
I did.
second.
I went right into John Taffer. Doing bar rescue here, Optimus Prime's bar. Totally destroyed. I spent $30,000 in Energon getting a 2-touch POS system right here.
So,
I think John Taffer fans.
John Taffer,
anybody?
anyone here?
Okay,
Thank
we
you.
got like 3 mild claps. That's fine.
Probably the same guy who made a suit.
Point of sale system. I'm right here with him. Are you guys? Is it Sunday morning for everybody?
Like,
I was a 2-touch POS. Oh no. Point of sale. Point of sale. That's what that is. Yes.
okay.
Toast.
So, Roger, I wanted to ask, obviously, both of you are incredibly well-skilled and prolific in your field. So,
Without a doubt.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you for
That's all you gotta
yeah.
say.
Okay, next
Next
question.
question. Yeah.
Yeah. It was more of a statement.
I know exactly. That doesn't even need to be said. Let's be honest.
It's worth repeating.
I was really excited though for this panel because I've never got to meet Roger. And,
I know this is literally this is the first
I wanted
time
to shower him with praise in person, and now we are getting
this
the
is-
opportunity.
And we're talking like the struggles of the amusement park. Yes, the living.
Well, the question is, who would win in a fight? And both of you obviously can answer between Batman and Captain America.
This is the pat answer that a hole in the space-time continuum would rip open and all humanity would cease to exist as we know it because that's way too much awesomeness to be in the same space at the same time. So no, I'm not answering that.
Okay, Josh.
Yeah.
I'm going with Robin.
Oh.
Burt Ward's Robin. Or?
Yeah. Smart. That's what I'm going to do next time. I'd be like, Mickey Mouse. Mickey Mouse would win. We'll just mix all of it. Well, now it's still Disney.
I love
And
it.
Marvel's Disney now.
So I wanted to kind of ask about both of your backgrounds and how it ultimately led you to be into this wonderful industry of voiceover, video games, and all that wonderfulness.
Josh, I mean...
Man, you know, it all starts with a dream.
Here we go.
It all started in 1982. A young boy was born in Walnut Creek, California, sounding like Jack Nicholson. You know, when I was a kid, I did the speech contest for 5 years straight, and I won it from like 3rd to 7th grade. I won the spelling bee for 4 years straight. And that was a testament to me, my public speaking. The more people in the room, the more comfortable I became. I started doing theater. I started doing all that stuff in junior high. Then high school came, and my horrible awkward phase hit. And I was very self-conscious about myself. And I kind of retreated into, my dad wanted me to play sports, so I played a sport I'd never played a day in my life. The first day of high school, I played water polo, which is, yes.
Dude, Josh,
I was
8th grade to sophomore year.
Water polo?
Water polo, yeah.
Dude,
Totally,
look
yeah,
at this.
I know.
That's what
Yeah,
I'm
swimming,
saying.
wrestling, all the things my dad didn't want me to do, I did.
And I was a good swimmer, but water polo was hard.
Yeah.
Never played it before, so after high school, I went kind of back into the theater, started chasing some more dreams with voiceover, started doing pet projects for my friends, started seeing what I could do, was in the studio a lot because my buddy had a really high college education and I was very poor and I did not. And I would basically tag along with him to class. We would go to this place called Expressions in Oakland, Emeryville, California, which is like an MI, it's a Musicians Institute. And because he was really up there, he got free studio time all the time. So I would just sit in the back of these classes. Oh, you need something for your cartoon? Cool. I will just do stupid voices. All this stuff was horrible. But one thing led to another, and I made a lot of connections. My son was born when I was 23, and me and his mom split up when he was about 4. She moved out of the state with him, so it left me like, well, what are you going to do? And I was like, we're going to go chase a dream. We're going to go get it. So I moved to L.A., was waiting tables at Buffalo Wild Wings, transferred down, went from
B-dub?
It went from, B-dubs, Wild Wings and Wecht. And so it went from like, a bartender, cushy spot to, you're going to be in the family room in Burbank, and I was like, oh, all right. So, but you do what you got to do, and I met a bunch of kids who worked at the theme park. They told me when the audition was. One thing led to another. I booked the Optimus Prime thing at Universal, met my agent, took classes, booked Overwatch a year later, World of Warcraft, League of Legends, Agretsuko, here we go. You know what I mean? And so it's a testament to hard work and hearing no a lot and not giving up, believing in yourself.
Yeah, without a doubt. Yeah, speaking, so my background was musical theater as a kid and all that kind of stuff, and a dad that wanted me to kind of get more in sports and that kind of thing, but I was all of 5'2" in high school and that kind of thing. It's like, I don't think, baseball and football is really going to cut it. And it was water polo, which was also not a great sport for a short guy, as I came to learn, which is why literally sophomore year, we had 4-year varsity, junior Olympics.
That's what we had on my team.
Yeah,
the
Southern
kids
California.
going to Stanford
I
and
went to
Berkeley.
Exactly. And I grew up in Southern California, so it was all the same thing. Anybody in California, it's like those are your sports, typically. And these guys were 6'3", freshmen, and I'm trying to guard them. It's like they just press me down. It's like I'm drowning. It's like they move on, kind of a thing. But I was doing theater, and I was freshman class president, all that kind of stuff. Spoke at my senior graduation, all that kind of stuff. My 8th grade graduation, it was all of that. Kind of I think I want to be funny or silly, or I like being funny and silly and getting attention and all those things that you're trying to sort of navigate. And then that led to a completely directionless early 20s. And then mid-20s, discovered stand-up comedy, and I was finally like, well, maybe now I got something to say. Did that for about 5 years, and the whole time I was doing it, I would get people in the industry kind of go, oh, you do characters and voices in your act. Who represents you for voiceover, that kind of thing. And I kept hearing it and kept hearing that, and not, man, you're such a great stand-up comic. You should really keep pursuing this. It was more like, hey, go do something different. It's like, and literally, we were trying out for the Aspen Comedy Festival at the Improv in Irvine, and at the end of the show, we get back on stage, and the woman that was there to evaluate us, she just goes down the line and critiques you in front of your colleagues, and she gets to me and she goes, who represents you for voiceover? And I'm like, nobody. And she goes, oh, you should look into that, and moved on. Said nothing about my comedy, and I was like, okay,
Great.
That's an industry professional who's telling me like I suck. I'm gonna go do something different. So that just became like, again, taking classes, Googling things, and then my gosh, doing like just a lot of local not-for-broadcast stuff and kind of cutting my teeth, making my mistakes in Orange County, which was a safe market, and then finally just kind of just giving it a shot up in LA. And then the rest is history. It was literally just like my Taft-Hartley gig for the Union was working with like Maurice LaMarche and Tara Strong on Chicken Little, the animated series that was just shelved. They never saw the light of day. But I was voice matching for Steve Zahn, and it was like all of a sudden I walk in, I'm like, oh my gosh, it was just like nerve-wracking and exciting, and yet it was like, and then you book a little McDonald's ad or that kind of thing, and you just kind of keep cranking along. And then 15, 20 years later, you're like, what has happened? I'm in Columbus, Ohio, and trying to throw a man in the river, and what is life?
You had a bag on your head. I didn't recognize
Yeah, well,
you.
it was cosplaying as the unknown comic from the 70s,
Got it.
right, kids?
I love it.
Dated reference. You're like, what? Look him up, the unknown comic. You'll be like, what were our parents thinking?
These
Why was
jokes
this
are all
funny?
meant to hit like 2 hours later, guys.
Yeah,
Don't worry.
exactly.
These are the gifts that
It's a
keep
slow
giving.
burn.
The time zone thing.
Slow burn. You mentioned you have a background in musical theater. Do you have a favorite musical?
Oh, you know what? So it's funny. I did like I don't know. I'm fond. Well, yes, I guess I do, but it's not. I mean, Singing in the Rain. I grew up on
Classic.
Singing in the Rain as a little kid. My mom like played that movie all the time, and Make 'Em Laugh. Like as a little boy, that scene is just insane. And so I guess that, but I don't know that they really do Singing in the Rain as a musical all that much as like a live production.
Maybe.
Probably the rain effect's just too much.
Yeah.
No, I did like Little Abner and
I was in Little
Sound of
Abner,
Music,
too.
and oh, how funny! I was Pappy Yoakum.
Yeah.
I was
I
Pappy
love
Yoakum,
that.
and I couldn't dance, and so, but because I was like the little funny kid, like I would literally tell the director, I'm like, I feel like this is the time when like Pappy Yoakum would just run off stage, like for this big musical number or the dance scene. She's like, all right, because I still can't dance to save my life. No, I hate it.
Sadie Hawkins Day was just a tough day.
Oh
I can
yes,
understand.
no, yes, like
Like the
for
kids
those who got to go to Sadie Hawkins.
Yeah. I'm so sorry.
Josh,
No, I went once.
do you want to tell us about your?
Want to talk about
musical-
my junior high dances?
No,
Yeah.
no, we're talking about your musical prowess, if we're allowed to legally speak about it.
Yeah, I made a lot of different kinds of music, ranging from everything from like rap to heavy metal to everything. And the most important thing was it just taught me how to like, when you're singing in the shower or you're doing something and you go in the studio, you got to like hit the switch. You got to be able to replicate your very best on the spot now in 3 variable takes. And so learning in the music how to turn that on and how to, transfer what you're hearing in your mind and in your heart onto the microphone really translated well to me into VO. The first day I recorded Overwatch was in Margarita Mix. It was one of my first sessions ever in a big studio. Excuse me. Because
For what it's worth is what you were going to
that's
say.
for what it's worth.
For what
the
it's worth.
funky funkadactyl. Sarah Silverman and Aaron, the kid from Breaking Bad, walk out of the studio, and like I'm sitting in the lobby, and Sarah has that dry kind of humor, and this is right when that African warlord stuff was going on, Kofi.
man, yeah.
So she kind of goes, "You heard about Kofi?" And I'm like, "Yeah, it's really terrible." She's like, "Yeah, I like your jacket." Like. And I'm just
Okay.
like, what
do I do?
Like, we're from, predatorial child warlord to, I like your jacket.
Yeah.
So it was mind-opening. It was a big deal. It was super cool. So
That's rad.
And we'll know more about your singing abilities in a couple months.
yeah,
legally, when
spoiler
we're not allowed
alert.
to talk
We
about
can
it.
say this. This wonderful woman to the left of me was recently on this show called I Can See Your Voice on Fox, and she did an amazing job. She actually
you.
won somebody $5,000 because she made it to the end.
Oh, yeah.
$50,000.
I got to sing with Jewel. It was amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't know, but I think you guys should stay tuned to that show in maybe February or March.
Yeah, that's what we can legally say.
Okay.
Yeah, and the other thing I wanted to say was I was on Say Yes to the Dress, and I believe you did my narration.
No way.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. What is going on?
I know.
Water polo, say yes to the dress, singing competition.
What
know.
is the say yes to the dress session like? You come in, you're like, okay, all
I don't
right.
want to spoil anything. I am next year's winner of American Idol. Oh my God! That's so crazy. They're probably going to sue me for saying that, but this is just too weird. Yeah. No, I can't sing either. I try. I sing cartoon voices, but yeah.
That's
no,
kinda
this
how
is,
I
what a
met.
small world. Like you literally were on Say Yes to the Dress. That's amazing.
The episode
Did you
with
in
Mick
fact
Foley.
say yes to the dress?
I sure did.
Oh my
You
gosh.
better believe it.
Oh my gosh. So you've heard like it's This. Meanwhile, across the salon. Yeah.
Across the
1,000
salon,
times. Yeah,
Heather's getting her
1,000
hair
times.
ready for a great day.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it was always funny to do those because it's like I never saw anything. People are like, you must know so much about wedding dresses. I'm like, no, I read a script that's like literally there's a producer on the phone with me. It's like, and it was so funny because I would have to ask questions every now and then. They're like, the line would be like, Bride Heather is here on her special day, but she's a little melancholy because she wishes Grandma could be here for the special moment. And
Then
I'm
it's
like,
a cut to a grave, like.
and I'm like, that's the thing. It could either be that it's a cut to a grave or it's a cut to Grandma trying to park her car in New York and she's just, and I'm like, we need to know the context because there's two very different ways to read that. It's like, but she's very melancholy. It's like, that's a little dramatic for Grandma's stuck in traffic or that kind of thing. But yeah, that was, 14 seasons, I think. It was like,
Wow.
nuts, yeah.
That stuff
Nuts.
is, dude, hats off to you because there's so much little tiny nuance to keep the viewer's attention in that your voice really snags it. Great
I
job.
guess. I mean, I don't know. You just read a script out loud. I mean, let's be honest. I don't know what I'm doing. No, wait, you're right. It's magical. What we do is magical.
Magical, powerful.
Magical. What a
Love it.
small world, though. That's
It
crazy.
is. It really, really is. So we have a microphone. I know it's a little daunting and intimidating, but whatever questions you guys may have, or if you don't want to...
Don't talk to the microphone like that. It is not
What?
little. It is strong, powerful.
Strong, powerful.
Yes.
You
Or-
hold all the power when you're behind the mic.
Sarsaparilla, dude.
And if it's too...
have to curse so dang much?
Oh my gosh.
That's what he says, right? Like this.
I used to grow my mustache. Now I grow my mustache and beard.
I love it.
Sam Elliott? No? All right. Unknown comic references, Sam Elliott. We're just doing like, yeah. Good morning.
Good morning.
We have a mic. It's just not on.
You have no power.
It's all right. When you think about your voices that are based or reflect famous people, the Nick
The Jacks.
Jack, or Orson Welles, or any of those. How do you manage to take the kernel of what is a really well-known voice and then sort of evolve it one way or another? What's the mental process of kind of working that?
Isn't it kind of funny because I remember thinking of like when you hear like somebody do like George Bush, right, former President George Bush, everybody's doing Dana Carvey's version,
Yes.
or a blend of like Dana Carvey's version, that kind of thing. So if I'm even to attempt Orson Welles, I'm doing Maurice LaMarche's Orson Welles, and which is more like the brain, and it's like it. So I don't know. I guess it's like if anything, you're trying to emulate and you're trying to sort of mimic as best you can, but in I think inevitably you're going to sort of put your own kind of touch or spin or cadence or comedic spin on it.
It's a great way to do it.
you.
I had a voice when I'm obviously doing Peter Cullen a lot, and Peter Cullen's voice is very different than most people. But I wanted to, so when I did that voice, I thought, what is the essence of Optimus Prime? What do you want to hear? And once you get A and B of what Optimus is, the C is me. So it's like A and B, the first two parts are as close as I can come to replicating it, but then on part 3, I give myself a break and I go, this is where you have to have faith that you're part of this now too, and you get to add your little magic on it. So a little bit of confidence, you know what I mean? I want to say it's a little bit of mixing everything in the pot together and taking ingredients that already exist and then putting your spice in there. How about that?
Do you have like a catchphrase? Like it's interesting because I've heard. Oh God, I can't believe the comedian Kyle Dunnigan does really great impressions of like Bill Maher. If you want to look up like Kyle Dunnigan doing Bill Maher, it's one of the
That's
scariest.
Bill Maher sound. That's a hard one to do too. Is he just complaining all the time?
No, he always goes, "Oh really?
Oh, really?"
It's all super condescending, but he's spot on with like, "Really?" You know, it's like this kind of a thing. And yet, I heard him on a podcast, and he was like, they were giving him all these different, like, you know, he does Trump and all these different characters, and he was snapping in and out of them kind of thing. But at one point, like, he just sort of stumbled, and he was like, he goes, "Oh, wait, oh yeah, he's like, Biden, he's, oh, come on, man." And he's like, you know, he was trying to find, and he locked into it with like a couple things. Do you, like, with Optimus, kind of go like roll out, or like, is it something that all of a sudden you're like, oh, no,
I have
know.
a lot of like, because you go with what's in. So like, I have a lot of Optimus is like, we may be built worlds apart, but like us, there's more to them than meets the eye. So you're always kind of like, the end of every sentence is always here, you know?
Yeah.
And with Optimus, I really looked into, like, if you want to dig deep into the character, like Peter Cullen modeled Optimus Prime off of his brother, who was an actual Marine soldier in Vietnam. And when he originally got the character, he was like, I kind of want it to be like that. I think it should be commanding, you know? And then I have a vocal coach who will come in and break me down every couple months from Universal, a great guy named David Chen, and he'll always be like, put some more John Wayne in it. You know what I mean? Give him the more kind of younger swagger, you know, of a leader. Yeah. So yeah, I think it's a combination of taking what's already there and then adding your spin into it and having faith in yourself.
That was a great question.
Great question.
What's your name?
My name's Logan. I don't actually have a question, but I just want to say, Roger, I thought the GalaxyCon announcement was funny.
Thank you.
thank
I
you.
appreciate that.
It was
That's
funny.
it? That's it.
Thank you.
Then it's now canon from here on out. You've established it. It's actual fact.
I loved it too.
Scientific fact. Thank you.
What's
Thanks,
your name?
Logan.
Hello, my name is Dylan.
Hey, Dylan.
Hey, Dylan.
So you guys have done video games, voice acting, and cartoons. Which one do you prefer doing, and which one do you like? Well, that's the same thing. Which one do you prefer doing, and which one do you like more doing? What's the difference?
Video games are lonely. Mirage and Roadhog can attest to that. I'm sure and I know in Overwatch, I don't know if it was the same in Apex, everything's solo. Like, we're all by ourselves in that. And the true magic of that is your director, who has the vision, who knows, I want you to sound like this because so-and-so sounds like this. And I have a sidekick named Junkrat in the game so a lot of they head up back and forth, but I prefer I love when we're in a group. I think it's so fun to do just Walla, which is when you're just doing stupid background noise, and there's villagers and they're scared. There's putties and they're Power Rangers.
And always the most like mumbling. Like that's no.
These carrots.
He's only chocolate chips.
Random laugh. Yeah. Or like if it's demonic, it's like reverse. Like Sauron comes down and grabs your ring, and so yeah. I want to say those Wallace sessions and group sessions are my favorite.
Yes. No, it's honestly too, like it's any day behind the VO mic is a great day, so it's really tough to like pick your favorites. They do have very different sort of like approaches. Like with video games, you're covering, it's interactive, right? And so they want to cover as many different variations, so the scripts can be pretty taxing on the voice. They can be really much longer sessions, because with an animated sort of short or film or series, you've got like, they know exactly what they want to get for the most part. You might play around a little bit, but it's like they don't have to cover, well, what if the viewer just decided that they were going to press a button on the remote and make, you know, Mickey Mouse jump 50 times in a row? If you only caught one sound of Mickey Mouse jumping, like in a video game, if it was just hup, and it was just hup, 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 you'd get bored playing the game kind of thing. So they cover 50 versions of a jump sound, a small jump, a big jump, and so it's a very taxing kind of a long session. That said, you get to be in a video game. It's like, it's always awesome. It's just they're very different skill sets, so it's hard to pick a favorite. But I mean, the animation, the ensemble records for animation, that was just like, and I don't know when we're going back or if it's going to be that way, if it's going to be a blend of all this kind of going forward, but man, too many sessions where you would just leave an animated session job like hoarse from laughing between the takes, not from actually doing the work. So it was a lot of fun.
We work with Dino Andrade. I love Dino, and so it was in a Wallace session. It's
Dino Andrade.
He's the gnome in every World of Warcraft game. He's always Mecha Gnome, and so he's in the front, and it's me and a guy with a lower voice than me, and I'm like, good God, you know? And they're like, all right, everyone, start screaming. And so everyone starts doing it, and I'll never forget, Dino's in the front, and he's like, hey, hey! And so these giant men are just, Fun times.
Great question.
Thank you.
What's your name?
Hi, my name is Ricky, and I have a question regarding criticism. When you guys, like, you're professional voice actors, I'm curious, like, when you are maybe faced with criticism, be it with audiences or maybe professional critics, how do you handle it? Are you like, oh my gosh, they saw a flaw, I have to do everything to fix this flaw, or are you like,
Let me tell you something, all right? I want you to look right here.
Oh, man.
Does it look like I give a damn what they think about me?
Thank you for your wisdom. It speaks values. Thank you, sir.
And what is criticism, or you said flaw? Like, what is a?
Well, just like anything in
I don't
general,
even know what that
sort of.
means. Like,
We're perfect.
yeah, I've never. This is something people share with. I mean,
Like what, with who? Like normal people, or like,
I don't know, just stuff I've heard around.
okay, yeah, no, I have no idea what you're talking about.
Here's a great point. Critics exist to further your drive because they're not you and they're not doing what you're doing. A critic is just a jealous fan.
Yeah,
Yes.
I agree.
You know what I mean?
I'm so sick of that. Yes.
And look, we love critics. We love movie critics. We love people who spin their things. But it's like, you know, Lana Del Rey is one of my favorite artists. Me and my wife love listening to her. And she made these great albums, but then they'll write these huge pieces about her. Oh, the album is drowning in this, blah, 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 blah. And she'll respond like, what are you talking about? The album has nothing to do with that. I'm glad your 4 years at Juilliard taught you that you know nothing about this. You know, she makes songs like My Blank Tastes Like Pepsi Cola. You know what I mean? So.
A classic. A classic, yeah.
And on a serious note, to deal with criticism, you're going to get it in life. And in the voice acting industry in particular, you're going to hear the words no more than you're going to hear the words yes. Have tough skin, believe in yourself, and F the haters.
Big time.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
I block and move on
Yeah,
a lot.
straight up, yeah.
I'm just like blocked.
I don't even block, I just mute, so you don't even know.
Oh, no,
don't
I
give you
want
the
them to
pleasure.
know.
Mute.
Yeah.
Okay, I like
I deny them the privilege of the audience. It's like, no, no.
What's your
Hi,
name?
Wraith.
My name is Ashlyn, and I have two quick questions. The first one is, like, how or where exactly do you find out how to start your first, like, voice acting gig? And my second one is, can you start voice acting at, like, any age?
Without a doubt.
Without a doubt, yeah. I always tell people, just make content. We're in such a everything is content age that it's like, you know, everything is content, everything is content. What that means is like, you know, if you're just doing TikTok reviews of your favorite Doritos chips, or you're doing an Apex Legends breakdown of how you built your amazing Wraith cosplay, you know what I mean? That is content. You're already using your voice. You're putting it out there. And we're in such a new age when the medium for releasing this stuff is hot. You can throw something out in seconds. Start there. Start making stuff. Start with community theater. There's two words in voice acting. There's voice and then there's acting, you know? And so anything you're doing acting related is a positive step forward.
And don't get so fixated on where you're not. I mean, like own exactly where you are and be proud of it. And it's like, it's so easy to sit there and go like, oh, but it's up there that I want to be, because we all have heroes that we wanted to be like, or that we thought, man, once I get there, then I'll be blankety blank, happy or fulfilled or whatever. And it's like, that's just not the right way to kind of go about it. Just look at it and kind of go, no, I'm doing what I'm doing and I'm owning it and I'm right here and I'm proud of it, because along like what we were saying earlier with like the criticism, that kind of thing, you're probably going to be your own worst critic, and I'm sure we still are. I know I am, but it's still just like you just keep kind of falling forward, and like you were saying earlier, like believe in yourself, have that passion, don't lose that passion, and things will just kind of start to fall in place. You'll get new information, you'll get new feedback, you'll get people saying stop doing stand-up comedy and go do this. You'll get things like that. As far as determining how you're going to get your first voiceover gig, that's up to you. You know, that's the beauty of it. I could tell you what to do or what I did or what Josh did, and it's like, is that going to work for you? You're you. You bring something entirely special and unique to it, and everybody that wants to pursue anything in the creative arts does, and just kind of like sticking with it. Stay on the bus. Don't get off the bus.
Great advice.
Stay rolling. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Great question.
Love the
Thank you.
cosplay.
All right, we got about 8 minutes left. I'll be
8 minutes.
Yes.
I'll try and make this quick then.
All right.
Is there a way I can like move this up?
I think
to lean forward.
looks like who are you
gonna be
cosplaying
fine.
as?
Discount Ghostbuster.
I love it.
I love it.
I love it. Nobody steps out of church in my town.
All right. Hello.
What
my name
did
is
you
Daniel.
do, Ray? Sorry.
You're
I love we're like 8
We're gonna
minutes,
go down it
and we're gonna
up.
just exactly.
I'll
Here we
keep
go.
going.
7
Who brought the
minutes.
dog?
Dogs and cats living together.
Mass hysteria. All right.
Walls in the 15th precinct were bleeding. He says.
He is
Yes, Your Honor,
legal.
It's true. That man has no dick.
Everything you're doing is bad. Don't you notice?
My name is Daniel. I've been wanting to get into game design, game creation, voice acting, and I'm sort of an amateur voice impressionist colonel. But what I want to know is with game
That was a
voicing,
great Brazilian accent, by the way. That's what you were doing just there, right? Brazil? I think that's what, or like a little flavor of Brazil. Yes.
Like a hint.
Yeah, sorry.
You're fine.
I'm being a smart aleck. Sorry, Dan.
What I wanted to know is for like voice acting in gaming, like similar to what the question was asked before me, with community theater and whatnot, what would you guys recommend would be a good starting point for like game voices, and where would I go? How would I start? What sort of
You know, community theater in general will teach you to speak from your diaphragm and not your throat. Techniques like that, learning how to project, learning how to add nuance to sentences that you wouldn't think needed, are huge things in the theater world because it's all big. The bigger the better. The bigger the better. You very rarely hear in voice acting, "This is too big. Bring it down."
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Most of the time you hear, "I need more." And you're like, "You need more? Like, you need more. My heart's on the floor." Like,
That's my lung.
yeah, like, so, you know, theater's a great place to start, and don't any role, because here's the brilliance of it. Any role is great because you're there, you're watching the rehearsals, you're watching maybe the lead kill it, and you're learning because you're watching this person like, oh, that's how they do it. Oh, God, he's really good. I don't remember that. Or God, she's killing this. She sings this so you know what I mean? Taking notes, being a student of the game.
And like what Josh was saying earlier, like acting is acting is acting. It's just, a lot of people go like, voice acting. It's like, no, go be an actor. I mean, literally, that's where it starts. You are just acting. It's just, it's different tools and different skill sets, and it's all very different. You got a camera or a microphone or a stage. All of it involves different skill sets, but it's all rooted in acting. So there's just different ways of doing it. Anything you're doing to pursue that, you're not going to go wrong. It's not about doing video game voice. It's like, because especially that's a more theatrical style of acting in comparison to like animation, and that's theater. That's theatrical in terms of like on camera, with the way performance captures are working, that kind of thing. So just pursue acting.
Yeah, Roadhog is like Dr. Claw meets Megatron. You know what I mean? He's a Frank Welker rip. That's literally what he is. He's a Frank Welker design, because I grew up on Frank Welker, so that is who curated my mind in terms of voices. And so when they're like, we want a deep sounding crazy voice, I was like, oh, well, how does Frank do it? And then it goes back to what we were saying earlier. This is how Frank does it, but this is how I do Frank. You know, so.
Yeah.
Good question.
I'm ripping off everyone.
Yeah.
I'm literally studying him as we speak.
Trust me, this is all being recorded in my pocket.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
What's your name?
My name is Anthony, and I've been doing amateur voice acting for a couple of years now, so my question is, like, what time would you figure out, all right, I should probably get an agent? Really, how would you go about doing that?
Do you have a reel?
I've been working on it.
Great. Technical note, there should be like 2 reels. You should have like an animation reel for characters, maybe 45 seconds, like a minute 10. Then you should have a commercial reel for commercials, maybe same thing, 45 seconds to 10. And, you know, don't be afraid to make your first reel by yourself. And then when you want to be more serious, maybe you want to invest in yourself and you want to pay an engineer or a demo person, a studio production company, maybe $1,000 or $2,000 to hand produce a demo for you. That's how my demo got made, and it was $2,000. You know what I mean? Chuck Duran, great guy out in LA.
Dino Andrade did mine.
Did he really?
I swear. Yeah,
I love
Dino
it.
Andrade did my very first animation demo.
And you know, when you get to that point, it's expensive. You know what I mean? So it's like I said, it's an investment. But you don't need to do that. You know, you need to just keep going. Stay on the bus. That was really good words that he said. Stay on the bus. Because the further you wade into this water of VO, you go up to your ankles, go up to your shins, up to your knees, and suddenly you're like, oh, I'm fully involved in this. Suddenly I know more just by doing, you know what I mean? When you go to school every day, you don't necessarily learn every single day something new, but it's the repetitive nature, just going, signing in every day, being consistent with yourself. I think there's a level of that in voice acting too for success.
Okay. Awesome. Thanks, guys.
What he said.
Thanks, man.
Ditto. All right,
Try to through everybody. Yeah, sorry. Can we do it?
can we rapid fire?
Yes, rapid fire.
All right. So my question.
No, next question.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank
Great
you.
question. Have
Boxers,
a great day.
briefs, boxers, briefs. There we go.
I was just wondering, is there any episode of like Sonic Boom that you just particularly like out of the rest?
Yes. Next question.
Okay.
Duditude. The Duditude one, where we got to sing. That was awesome.
Hi, my
Hi, Maddie.
question is if you could cross over with any franchise, like what would it be? Because like Tails and Sonic had a crossover with like OKKO. So like if you could do something like that, what would it be?
Sonic and Overwatch.
Yes. That would be really sick.
I'd be your sidekick.
Give me the gold
Why
rings
is there so
now.
much violence?
Roadhog's just shaking and like, where are the rings? Like,
So my
I
question
prefer
is,
Dr. Eggman. Bring him back.
My question is kind of similar. If you were to take any one character that either of you have voice acted and cross it over into the universe of another character that you've voice acted, what would it be?
Sonic is Roadhog.
Yes. Yes.
And that would sound like?
Well, we're all animals.
I can't top that. It's like, what am I going to try to do? Like Peter Cullen is Sonic right now?
Yeah,
Roll out!
It's just not, it's just far too shrill.
Oh, say yes.
Meanwhile, across the salon,
Yeah.
someone's grandma is dead.
I don't know.
Those are so fun.
Yeah.
You guys are such a joy. This is better than coffee. I am wide awake now.
Good.
This was so much fun. Before we do wrap it up, we do have a photographer. If we can take a picture of y'all with the audience, is that okay
Yes.
with you guys?
That'd be amazing. Let's
Definitely.
do it. Love to. Thank you, Columbus. Thank you guys
Thank you
so
guys.
much.
Thank you, C-Bus.